try to get one good night's sleep the best you can, and it's also 7.5 hours, which is a long time, and it's hard for me to do it. It's mostly in a deficit to stay asleep that long. So I'll do the melatonin on top of my Z's. I've never heard this. Does probiotics help with weight loss? I've never heard that. So I know weight loss is from proper nutrition. When people ask me, do you do cardio in the off season? Well, I mean, I think most people here know that the point of cardio is something that you get to use, a utensil down the road to get in shape. It's not something you do all year. I'll get to that point where I'm going all the way and I do the show and I keep trying to diet down. That destroys you. And that's what happened to Frankie. All right, guys, I got some cardio going, so let's do some question and answers for you guys as we are on. Any kind of questions you guys have, this will be the time. We just finished up Titan check-ins for last week. So in the meantime, let's finish out the week. Today is, if I'm correct, Wednesday. And we'll get the next check-ins starting on Monday. Okay, for all those one-on-ones that are doing it, look for that post over in the Titan Crew on Monday so we can get that in next week. Make sure everybody's on point. Hey Mo, will you let me know the week's in?
53.
That'd be great. I think we're 5. Someone asked, how do I get to coach under you? You probably don't want to get coached under me if you have to ask that question here, because there's links and posts in every video we talk about how to do that. So, yeah, I would recommend not to do it. Mikey, I know that you're starting the 30-day blitz on Monday. Hey, make sure you do this a couple times. I know that you look over it once and you think you got it. Look it over a couple times. And then also this Sunday, enjoy yourself. Have some great meals on Sunday going into the first day of training. The blitz, again, is incredibly beneficial. It's incredibly beneficial both physically and mentally. But it's anything that great, like you said, is tough. So with it being that tough, Sunday kind of fuel yourself up to get ready for that Monday start. Okay, Mike? I cannot wait to see the changes. So this person is asking about sleep and the possibility of, does it all have to be at one time or can he split it up? And again, you're gonna notice this yourself more than any doctor or anybody else is gonna notice this. So you're gonna notice if you're releasing that swollenness, that the body that picks up the water during the day, if it releases it, you wake up refreshed, mobile, and then recovering. If you're recovering from the workouts, if you're recovering from the day mentally and physically. So you're gonna notice that. That won't be something you need to ask me. Because the studies show, all the literature shows, try to get one good night's sleep the best you can, and it's also 7.5 hours, which is a long time, and it's hard for me to do it. It's mostly in a deficit to stay asleep that long. So I'll do the melatonin on top of my Z's. I'll do some calm on top of that. I'll do some calcium, magnesium on top of that to really get me that deep sleep, that REM sleep. So these are things that I would recommend. But everybody's schedule's tough. Some people's schedule is just tougher and can't get that sleep. So my recommendation, do the best you can. And then also just take notes for yourself. For most of you, I think that's one of the biggest things, that you're taking records of what you're doing to make sure that you are changing. That's the best way to do it. I've never heard this. Does probiotics help with weight loss? I've never heard that. So I know weight loss is from proper nutrition. Yeah, but I never heard of probiotics. So somebody asks, and this is one of those questions where you just know the person doesn't know much about exercise and stuff and won't benefit. It's one of those, unfortunately, they're called I won't even say. Anyways, if this is a question, there's so many other things that you're missing. So they asked, if you're bulking, which is a surplus of calories, that way you're recovering, you're building muscle, and you're taking enough calories to not just feed the body, but to feed it and build and build and build. So that being said, you probably want to do the least amount of work for workouts. So you go in, you hit the gym, you get in there, you do your heavy lifts or whatever it is, that program that you're doing, and then you get out. And that's called bulking or putting on size or off season. What you wouldn't do is you wouldn't go into the gym, superset everything, go light weights, again, as you're bulking, and then jump on cardio. Because now you're trying to feed your body to put on size, but then you're training it to lose size. So when people ask me, do you do cardio in the off season? Well, I mean, I think most people here know the point of cardio is something that you get to use, a utensil down the road to get in shape. It's not something you do all year. So unfortunately, again, when you're bulking, unless you got just bad metabolism, there should be no point for you to do cardio. The nutrition should be making your body speed up. So no, I wouldn't do cardio while you're bulking. So this person definitely doesn't know me or follow me. He asked, what's my opinion of carb blockers on supplements and weight loss? So a carb blocker is something that kind of basically it plays with your carbohydrates to basically where you just shit it out instead of it storing. That's the whole game plan for what they do. Which doesn't make sense to me, because then it's like why are you eating something that you have to just shit out instead of utilizing it for your body to build your body? So that's a tough one. I guess that's for the person that wants to go, I want to diet down, but I want to eat what I want, so I'll just take a carb blocker. That's probably for me. Unfortunately, for me, that's probably the pinnacle person I don't want to be around in any sense of life, because they're trying to look for a loophole instead of just putting the hard work in. So that would be a tough one for me to be around. I don't think that person would have the work ethic or anything to kind of try to be great for their individual. They're looking for loopholes, which happens. It happens. I understand that dieting is not easy. I understand all of this is not easy, but life isn't easy. And that's why we're putting the work in. But I don't think that looking for excuses like a carb blocker, if it's part of the nutrition, your body should be utilizing it. You know, stay with the nutrition. Don't try to do something like that. And that's why, like with my pump product, it's enough stimulation to get your mind going and get it energized, but not to override you and make you just go to the gym because you're so cracked out. It's not what I want to do. Wow. So your coach is having you doing 1,000, 10,000 steps a day as you're trying to bulk. I think what he did or they're doing is because they didn't get your metabolism to function correctly, they just kind of, you went to this person, they said, okay, great. Jump on cardio and eat a lot of food, which again, you know, a lot of coaches are gonna do. Unfortunately, you know, that's who you chose to train you. My recommendation is get your body functioning correctly. That way, regardless of what you do, you make a benefit. As your body's functioning correctly, then you add in cardio and get in shape. But you're trying to do two things at once, and you're doing two things at once with a body that doesn't function correctly. So just think of that. Now that's a whole video by itself, because that's a whole discussion of what so many people do. And let me go into depth on that. New Year's comes around, right? All right, it's the new year. I'm going to just go to the gym. I'm going to start working out and dieting. I went from eating pizza and donuts to eating fish and broccoli. Okay, and I'm just going to start working out. Great. And that's going to last for 2 to 3 weeks. Put your body in a trauma shut down. I lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks, and then nothing, and then you cheat, and it's over with. And that's what most of society does. So you got to remember that if you're going to do a program, it's going to be like what we just did, 12 to 16 weeks of something. And the first portion of it is just getting the body to function correctly, and then move forward. Then you see extreme great changes. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And most people do it the other way. I want to start strong, but I won't finish. That's how it happens. So I'll talk about this a lot. And we talked about this morning, me and my training partners. And we talked about my training partners and how we trained as youngsters and how we just went balls to the wall and just went crazy. Now, here's the funny thing. By doing that, we had fun. And it also set our minds up to, go to that limit of extreme pain and desire, which is a great thing to go to. Now, is it the most beneficial? At times, it's the most beneficial when the body's working. Body working, it means metabolism functioning at 100%. Your life is 100%. You're weeks away from getting done with your program, feeling the best you possibly can in that situation. And then you go to 100% training. So everything's firing at once, and you've already kind of the snowball effect of going downhill, and you just pick up speed, and then you create this incredible physique where most people don't realize it until the last 3 to 4 weeks when you're finishing a program. So the 100% is every set you do is to fatigue almost. It's not fatigue in the sense of what you guys think is fatigue, but it's to the point of where 10 reps was solid, it hurt, and the 10th rep was slower than everything else, and I couldn't have got 11. That's the fatigue I'm talking about. Most people talk fatigue is that they go to half reps and then they can't even move their arms. That's not the fatigue I'm talking about. But that's, Frankie, I want you crawling out of the gym. I want you pushing it so hard that every set, you basically finish, but it was a great freaking set. Compared to 70% is going through it, squeezing the muscle, knowing you did a good amount of weight, but you could have done a couple more reps. So those are the two exchanges there. So Frankie's one of the Titan crew members. And I love Frankie because of this. There's people I can't stand that try to blame their mistakes on the others. Like this person that's doing the 1,000 steps while they're trying to put on weight. Well, I mean, some kind of common sense has to come into play for you. So at some point, they're not going to finish their program and they're going to go, well, it wasn't me. I did all the effort. It was my coach. Yes and no. Yes, your coach wasn't intelligent enough, but also you didn't use common sense on the program. Nobody says ever, go into the gym, put on size, jump on cardio. Nobody does that. I mean, just me saying it, everybody on here kind of goes, yeah, that sounds pretty stupid. So that being said, Frankie, on the other hand, we got in great shape. And he went through a process. Now this happens, and it happens to me. So that's why I love Frankie. You go into a deficit and you're starting to change the body, and it changes so much. You're like, this is beautiful. I'm creating this art piece. It's looking better every single day. Oh my God, this will be the best I've ever looked. Stay with me on this. This is a lot of people. And you kind of like, for me, like get on stage and I look at it and I go, wow, could I go more? I did the program, I finished it. Can I go more? Now here's the fault of that. And that's why I've been able to stay in the industry so long. Is because you set a program, you do the 12 weeks, you do the 16 weeks. Then you need your body to recover or you're just destroying yourself. So you've got to go stage. And when I say stage, for me it's stage, but for you it could be the class reunion. It could be the the cover of the music album that you're doing. It could be any of these things. When you do it and you finish the program, you stop, you take care of the body. And I don't mean take care of the body about trying to burn more fat, try to train harder, try to go over and above what you were doing. I mean, pull off the cardio, start feeding the body, start feeding the mind again, and go, that was the best I can get this time. I'll have another fight, and it'll be in a couple months. And by fight, I mean another program to cut. But right now, I need to make sure the body feels good, healthy, and take care of it. And so I'll get to that point where I'm going all the way and I do this show and I keep trying to diet down. That destroys you. And that's what happened to Frankie. He went in such a great way and he got to a point and he goes, forget it. I'm going to keep going this way. And then it traumatizes the body. But he, which I love in today's day and age, said, hey, I messed up. I got carried away in my own thoughts. I wanted to go this way. I didn't listen to what you recommended. And I kept pushing it and I hurt myself in a sense of the body shut down. And he came back around and goes, I own it. I'm going back in and we're pushing it. And that's a man. That's an old school mentality that I wish more people would have. To go, hey, I messed up on the nutrition plan. I'm not checking in. Hey, I didn't do any cardio that you told me to do the last 2 weeks. I didn't do the diet the last 2 weeks. I'm going to go right back to it. My fault. Let's get back into it. That I just love. You know, I appreciate that. So thank you. That's what I love about Titan Crew. It was the best thing in the world to get rid of 7,000 people that were draining us and slowing us down to where we have a smaller team that we can really focus on. So thank you guys.